Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream that starts 15 minutes late. Handelabra believes it's almost said Sentinels. The multiverse believes in everyone. Sentinels believe in the multiverse for everyone and in being as Spirit Island as possible. So any one-deck dungeons or Aeon's Ends working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's start over again. Hi, I'm Lou Dolphin. I'm gonna be streaming on this channel. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at LouDolphin21 on Twitter, and on Twitch and YouTube it's LouDolphin, no digits. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island are all available on Steam, and the exception of Spirit Island, iOS and Android devices. And you can find more information on those games at Handelabra.com. Hello. 15 minutes late. Do apologize about that, but that is fine. We are in no rush. All right, quick play. If we're gonna be late, let's quick play. What difficulty? I feel like 8 to 10 is a bit too high for what I want. 6 to 7 is a bit too low. Let's go a little bit outside our comfort zone, I guess. Someone might say, what is our comfort zone? Oh boy. This is definitely not much of a comfort zone right here. Well, so what we have here is England 5 in Guard the Isle's Heart. Okay, sure. Oh boy, this is gonna be super hard. We have to prevent builds in the inner land. And the inner land is very separate. There's they're not very boy, this is going to be a nightmare. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do here? Well, the good news is, you know, obviously because of the Guard the Isle's Heart rule, after all other setup, remove all towns. So some of England's rules went away. Normally there's one town added to land 2. That town is gone. There's another town, I believe, on land 5. That town's gone. Maybe it was land 6, I'm not sure. But thankfully, those towns are gone, so we have a little bit of breathing room. Hello, DF, and welcome to the quick play nightmare. Oh well, it's fine. So we're playing in England 5 spontaneously. Playing with Thunderspeaker and River, so there's, you know, some good action happening here. Lots of Dahan to help us out. So let's see, just to go over the rules for my sake and for your sake as well. After all other setup, remove all towns, and in each inner land, add an explorer and a presence from the player starting on, on that board. Each spirit starts with 2 additional power cards by drawing a single card from each of the 2 powered decks. The additional loss condition, anytime after turn 1 if there is a town or city in an inner land. There is 1 inner land on each board. On a 2-player game, it is just land number 7 on each board. So, well, it was set to be this. It's inner, I guess. It's also very far removed from each other. Oh well. This is what Quick Play gave us. Land 7 in both boards is adjacent to a coastal land, so it's going to be a bit tough. We have to really guard against this. We can't even have 2 adjacent towns or cities before they're built, otherwise we lose. So this is going to be really tough. We have to prevent these builds. They're building in the mountains too, which is especially annoying. This is at least River's board, so River will be able to wash them away. But we really need to avoid this loss from happening. Anyway. And then England's extra rules. Additional loss condition, if 7 or more towns or cities are ever in a single land, the invaders win. Stage 2 escalation, on each board with a town or city, build in the land with the most towns or cities, and that can trigger the loss condition. Invader build actions affect lands without invaders if they're adjacent to at least 2 towns or cities before this build action. So we have to avoid builds in land 7 after turn 1, anytime after turn 1 if there is a town or city. So we have to deal with the town in the slow phase if one pops up, but they are building in the mountain, but we can deal with that. But if they do trigger the indentured servants clause by having 2 adjacent towns, and that could happen in high immigration, so we have to watch out for that. During setup, on each board, add a city to land number 1. The town is gone. High immigration, put the high immigration tile on the invader board to the left of Ravage. The invaders take this build action each invader phase before ravaging. Cards slide left from Ravage to it, and from it to the discard pile. The extra build tile remains out the entire game. So not only do we have to avoid the mountain build during the build phase, but also during the high immigration phase. So we really need to be careful with town builds in this game. And England 5, which is my first time playing England 5. Excuse me. Towns and cities have +1 health. This is local autonomy. I don't really read the titles of these things too much. Indentured servants earn land, criminals and malcontents, high immigration, local autonomy, building boom, proud and mighty capital. Yeah. So the good news, since this is River's board, River can deal with this build. The problem arises if they then choose to explore in the jungle or the sands, or even the wetlands, because when this moves over to the high immigration, if there is still an adjacent town, and it's or 2 adjacent towns, we still lose. This sands here is a bit more protected, because at least it can't be cheated upon by hitting this sands, because that would be the same tile. So this will have to build first before it sees this. And there is a lot of separation from Land 7 within its own region. It has to go through 2 mountain tiles, or a sands and a wetland, or mountain and wetland, of course. But there is a good separation here for this sands. This sands is really well protected. This mountain is an immediate danger, and this jungle could lead into a mountain if we, screw up. So we have to be really careful for this mountain. This is what we have to watch out for. So this is a presence to put in Thunder Speaker's inner land. And the question is, where do we want to go with Thunder Speaker? We'll probably place, 1 more presence off of this. So either we get 2 presences. I mean, I guess we could try to push for 3 right out the gate, but Manifestations is a really expensive card. Sudden Ambush is also really expensive. It could stop this build in the mountains. This mountains could just be, because this city has 4 health, so it's actually a lot harder to take out that city. Plus the town they build is going to have 3 health. We'd have to do 8 damage worth there. So that might just be a lost cause. Lost cause. Not lost cause. Lost cause. No. So I think we're going to do card plays for you. For River, I think just pushing to reclaim 1, like we can get there really quickly in this game. So this is Thunder Speakers, Winds of Rust. So Wargasm is happy, Gnawing Root Biters. Entwined Power is really good in this game. Devouring Ants is a card. So both of these, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Gnawing Root Biters doesn't give the right elements. It does give an animal. Winds of Rust gives an animal and an air. So that at least works with Gather the Warriors. And that is going to help a lot with getting rid of some of the cities. And actually, this might even give us a means, like, if we wanted to, we could do the defend in A1. It might be worth, just doing that to get rid of that city, because cities are going to be exceptionally hard to get rid of in this game. This also can help with 2 adjacent towns or cities, because we could turn one of the adjacent towns into an explorer, and then there's no more 2 adjacent towns. So that is a really good card to get early. Gnawing Root Biters gives us a town push, 2 town pushes rather. So that could also help with the 2 adjacent town rule just during the slow phase. I find their expressions rather Crazy. You didn't get a notification? Well, hello, John, and welcome to England 5, Guarding the Isle's Heart. This is what Quick Play gave me. I keep having some blockage of my throat. It's usually what happens when I just eat. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Right, so... River got Entwined Power, a pretty good card. Does give a water. Don't really have that many plants, but this is really good for getting us, you know, minors. Or you can even, like, this could also get us majors, but we will have good coverage of both of the major lands without having to cross the board, so that's really nice. 1 fear, 1 damage, destroy a Dahan, and if it's jungle or sands, +1 damage. Not really going to help us too much. It does give us sun, but we need more waters. Does give an earth, though. Also destroys Dahan, but there could be utility here. This could take out an explorer. It could take out a town if it's in jungle or sands. Actually, it can't because of the +1, so it's actually less effective. Great, fantastic. Okay, so what are we going to do with River? We could do double presence. Get to 3 card plays on turn 1. That is really rare. We'd also have only 1 energy. We only gain energy off of this growth, the reclaim growth, unless we go off the energy track. But getting to reclaim 1 early seems cool. If you play 3 cards this turn, you probably won't have the energy to play 3 cards next turn. Let's see, so 2 damage isn't gonna help us that much. You were testing Serpent with River and played 6 or 7 cards a turn. That's ridiculous. Yeah, because isn't like one of Serpent's like innate powers, like I know that Serpent has like place other presences over here based on a card that Serpent has, and I think one of the innates also says like for each spirit that has a presence in here, play an additional power card, or that spirit plays a power card. So yeah, extra card plays, woo! 6 card plays on River? Yes, please. I'm not sure. This is also another one of those danger lands, but we're gonna have less that can help us out with that. Like, I think Wash Away is what we have to do for B7. We could leave 1 Explorer behind and have Death by Dahan. But we can't leave the town in there because after turn 1 we lose. And I really don't want to have the build from the Explorer, which, like, regardless of what it is, it's going to view one of these lands because of this city here. We have to be really careful because we're going to push it into a land, they're going to explore somewhere, they're going to build a town, and then in a high immigration turn, this is going to build and we lose. Be nice if we could somehow deal with the problem faster. But it's really hard to even just take out a town in this game. This is not coastal. What if I was thinking of sudden ambushing in A6, but what if we used sudden ambush? Actually, sudden ambush is good enough. Take one of these Dahan into B7, and then both Dahan kill the explorers, and then we don't have to worry about pushing that town. Okay, that seems a lot better. Seems a lot better. So then we could save Wash Away or an innate for whatever they explore into between B4, B5, and B6. We really need to avoid B7, because that's the one that's the hardest to defend. If you missed what I said 10 minutes earlier, I'm kind of recapping, but A7 is going to be really hard for the explorers to reach, because B3 has to lead into B7, or A7, and I guess all they have to do is explore the wetlands. There is this city here, so I guess they do only have to explore the wetlands, but if we could somehow also deal with these two mountains over here really quickly, then A7's really well taken care of, but B7's always going to be hard. So we decided that we're sudden ambushing B7. To play sudden ambush, you're going to need 2 energy. We could do double growth and you'll get 2 energy off of that. You have 2 card plays, so you could do sudden ambush and the 0 energy one. Unfortunately, I would really like to have Voice of Thunder and Manifestations put together in order to combo super big Dahan Beast turn. I'm not sure. The other option is Gnawing Rootbiters. I guess Gnawing Rootbiters on A6 would take care of that town. Range 1 though, so I'd have to have a presence nearby. But if I do this growth option, I guess I could put into A6. That has Dahan in it, and it is range 2. And as long as I push that town out, it's no risk. They are going to high immigration into that, unless I can also deal with A1 in some capacity. But yeah, that might be what we're doing there. Save high energy turn for the next turn, high energy growth rather. So do air there. 2 energy could go anywhere. Let's put it over here and try to have this be the start of the Dahan army. And we're going to need sudden ambush and gnawing rootbiters. We do have this innate. That's going to gather 2 and push 0. We don't have this one. So with River, we don't need Wash Away per se. Devouring Ants will always take out an Explorer. Whichever they explore to between wetlands, sands, and jungle, they'll take that Explorer will be able to go away. That prevents the build, pushing the Explorer away. Several ways that could be done. It might be better to take 2 energy for now. This doubles my energy this turn and next turn. And I can still get to reclaim 1 on the next turn, but if I do that, then I'll have, like, you know, an additional energy. So if I do this growth, and I don't know where I need to go, but if I'm trying to use something like River's Bounty, that's range 0. So wherever I want the Dahan to be, preferably for Thunder Speaker's benefit, I want to be able to benefit Thunder Speaker with that, I think. So I'm not sure. I think there was a plan for maybe one of these. I guess Winds of Rust does stop one of those, right? But there's not really a way to stop the other one with manifestations in time, so maybe I should not think about that one. This one can just Ravage. I guess we could try to set up to take out B1. If we take out B1, then B4, B5, B6 have a lot harder time building. B4 will still have Avenue, but as long as it's only 1 possible place to explore to, it's a lot better than 3. So I want to do 2 presences. I want to probably put Dahan in B4, since that is going to also be a place I'll need to keep in check later. But with sudden ambush, we can get Dahan into B7. We could then take those Dahan out of B7, put them in B4, or maybe one of them from A3, so we take 2 of Thunder Speaker's presence. So you have 2 Dahan and 2 Thunder Speakers. Births a 3rd one. We do still have this gather, though. And Thunder Speaker could just gather into this herself as well, I guess. We would like to have them over here, but I don't think we can... I guess what we could do is use Words of Warning together with Winds of Rust next turn. Problem though is Defend 3 is not good enough over here. We need to do a Defend 5. Winds of Rust is good enough. Like, it gives good enough defense. I could just put the Dahan in there and Winds of Rust it, I guess. That'd be a lot more beneficial than just defending this, huh? So maybe I should just plan on putting all the Dahan in there and having the Dahan counterattack and hopefully take things out. So I guess we could have a gather into B4, a gather into B2. So maybe I want to actually be in B2 with River. Not sure that it matters if I do the... I'm like, it's probably still fine to leave the two presences like this. Growth option 3 is range 2. This could put a Sacred Site in A2 or A5 really easily, so I think that's still fine. I guess E4 already does that, but still. So... we're thinking River's Bounty. We're thinking Devouring Ants to take out wherever they explore in B. We don't get the innate, but we could get it next turn. And next turn we'll also have a Reclaim 1, so we'll be able to keep River going for a while. So let's see. Sudden Ambush. I guess there's also this thing. Right, and I have my presence there as well. I guess that's where I could put Defend 3. Alright, so they explored in the wetlands. So this wetlands is gonna, you know, build. So this might have to be dealt with in some capacity, but... why do I have gnawing root biters? Why am I pushing? Oh, never mind. I was pushing. That was my plan all along. Right. My plan was to get that town out. Okay. Now I remember what I was doing. So let's see, I want to do this gather first. I want to gather these two, and move both the presences. Then I want to River's Bounty in here and take both of those Dahan and both of these presences. And that gives me the most Dahan in B2. It's not enough to take out everything because of the +1 health, but we can take out the city. So that's good. And then Devouring Ants in B6 to stop that. So Winds of Rust is enough to stop this. Words of Warning is not going to be enough to stop this one. Although I think the plan was actually to do Words of Warning in A6. Now that I think about it, I think that was actually the plan. But Gnawing Root Biters also dealt with it, and I don't think there's really a better place for Gnawing Root Biters. But if I did do the defend, the town actually has 3 health, so 1 Dahan isn't enough to take it out. So I think this is still a little bit better. If you do Winds of Rust and Manifestations, could we deal with B1 in some capacity? You're not going to have enough energy for that, though, at all. So I think that's out of the question. We need Winds of Rust. We can't do Manifestations this turn. We would place 1 presence and gain 4. I don't know. If you gain 4 energy, that's the right amount. What am I thinking? 4 + 2 is 6. Okay. So that's probably what we're gonna do there. We could try to push towards Thunder Speaker's Reclaim 1. If we can get Boon of Vigor on Thunder Speaker, this should help sustain the Reclaim 1 even without innate energy. Could also just push for gain 4 energy each turn with a Reclaim 1, and then basically, like right now, Thunder Speaker would be getting 6 energy per turn if she did that, so it would be really easy to sustain that by herself, but with Boon of Vigor on her, it should be really trivial. So maybe we want to push for that. So is the plan to manifest in B1? If I do Winds of Rust and Manifestations, we get the animal and we'll have 3 air. So we can gather 3 Dahan. If we get all the Dahan into there, that's 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4, 3, 1 is 8. So yeah, I don't need an extra presence in B1. But that will clear B1. Well, no, it won't, because B2 is still an issue, I guess. Could we push from B2 into B1 with River? I mean, yeah, we can wash away. We're also going to reclaim 1. There's also potentially a River's Bounty, but we might want that over here. We have to do double growth for you in order to get to your Reclaim 1. We also have to think about A5, because if they explore the sands after A5, well, I mean, there's already the Explorer in A7, right? But they're gonna build an A5. I could get the innate. I think I can get the tier 2 innate. So wash away or tier 2 innate for B2, the other for B7 and or A7, and then do something for A5 maybe? Or do I just want to do it in A5 directly? That might be a bit better. 2 damage is not enough to take out a town in this game, which is annoying. I could just Flash Floods A5, but no, it will still build because of these 3 things. I wish I could save Flash Floods for the slow phase, but I can't. I think it's Boon of Vigor, Wash Away, and River's Bounty. River's Bounty is going to give an energy, which will help sustain River. I've heard the word sustain a lot because of my Slay the Spire videos I've been watching. I don't know if it, I don't actually, does Jorbs even use that phrase? I'm not sure, but I do hear it from Jeremiah. Sustain and scaling, I think, are the 2 words. Sustain is what keeps you alive, and scaling is what allows you to overpower your enemy's growth. So what do we want to do with your presence? Sacred Site A5? Be best. This is also super low energy, so that's really nice. We have 3 energy, plus 2 next turn, plus 1 from River's Bounty, so pretty good. So what about Thunder Speaker then? I was trying to think if we need... So what? This is 6 damage in B2. Push it all onto the city. And 2 more on the town. Although, with this 2 damage, if it's 4 on the city, 1 on the explorer, 1 on this town will have 2 health, and then 2 damage takes out that town. So then we don't need anything extra for B1. We'll have 4 Dahan in there, plus 2 presence. 4 times 2 is 8. City is 4, town is 3, explorer is 1. So that will take out that entirely. So I don't need presence down here. So what do I need to do over here? Now that all the Dahan is going to be pushed down towards this corner, we're going to have a big problem with Dahan over here. I guess we could put 1 in B3 and then work between B3 and B7 to push these closer to the coast. Okay. Should work. Alright, the city's actually going away. Or the town, but... Actually, let's think about that. If I replace the city with the town, it's 1 less health. If I replace the town with an explorer, it's 2 less health. So actually, if I replace the town, then that land's just wiped entirely. So actually, that's really good. That's a lot better. Now I don't need River to help. And now it's the Sands Explorer, so it's dangerous for A7. If that build happens, then we lose. But first, let's take care of this land. Okay, we do also have B5. If we could just push that Explorer into B1, then it's done. And there's nothing, basically nothing left in B except for this guy. So how do I want to deal with the A problem? If Thunderspeaker gets the Reclaim 1 next turn, which requires double growth, Thunderspeaker would have 4 energy, could reclaim Sudden Ambush. Sudden Ambush in A7 without gathering anything just takes out all the Explorers. So I don't necessarily need to wash that away. There's a Dahan in A2 that's going to currently die, so I have to be careful. After placing Blight from a Ravage for each Dahan that died during the Ravage, destroy 1 of your presence within range 1. So, as long as we don't have Thunderspeaker presence within range 1, we're fine. But we have to be careful we don't push something if they're accidentally. Could we reverse Bounty into A5 and do Words of Warning next turn? We should have enough energy. Words of Warning plus Sudden Ambush. You'll have a 3rd card play, and you could afford Voice of Thunder. And you would actually get this level innate. Which is nice against England 5 because it doesn't care about how much HP towns and cities have. So that's nice. But if I have 2 Dahan in A5, well, 3 Dahan, but 2 is enough. 3 plus 1 is 4. Dahan do 4 damage, but they're still only dealing 3. Extra health doesn't mean extra damage. So it should work that they take out everything there, right? What I think I'm saying is I think I can wash away in B5 into B1. Death by Dahan that. And have massive flooding for something else. I'm not sure what else. If we do massive flooding in A7 instead, we could do sudden ambush in A4, but that'd be really bad because we'd be adjacent to Dahan death. Unless I take that Dahan out with sudden ambush. How much range is sudden ambush? It's range 1. We have the presence in B3. Although we could be putting presence wherever we want. I just wonder what I can do about B3 in addition. I guess the in addition is to just deal with that on the next turn. We're gonna reclaim after next turn, I'm sure. And we could Words of Warning in B3 that turn. But we'll stop. Oh no, but this build is still happening. No. That's the thing. A4 is still building regardless. So I guess we could sudden ambush in B3 instead. Although I don't want A4 to blight. The build in B3 is not happening, right? If I take out that Explorer, yeah. So just keep B clear and focus on A. So I think the summary is do this. River's Bounty, A5. Actually, let me keep those Dahan there. Let's move Thunder Speaker out of that land. So this is double presence here. Because we want to get to that reclaim 1. And kind of just do something like this, I'd say. Take back sudden ambush. These 5 Dahan here, plus 5 presences. We actually have equal numbers of presence in Dahan. It's nice. But, like, if we could set up for, like, constant manifestations and Voice of Thunders plus Gather the Warriors, we can just destroy every land repeatedly. We should be really well set up for that. We do have this high immigration build. It's affecting A1 and A6, but not B2 or B7. I don't know. So we're defending A5. We could still have Flash Floods, I guess. If we're playing these two cards, which I'm not sure if I will. I mean, Entwined Power is fun, and we get extra powers off that. Flash Floods would do enough damage to just take out B3. We don't really have a better spot for that because it's not going to take out his town, is it? Although it could combo with, you know, tier 4 or tier 3 innate. This would be able to take out a city on the coast, so we could keep this in mind for dealing with the cities in A2 and A1. I'm just thinking if I should gain a power card with River right now. Very tempted to do a major, but we only have 2 extra energy if I'm playing both of these cards. Plus I'm reclaiming 1, which could just be River's Bounty. Or Boon of Vigor. Both of them have the elements for the innate. Well, I guess they don't have Mountain. But we need more Sun, because Entwined Power doesn't have Sun. We don't have enough plant to get this threshold. Yeah, Flash Floods and B3 takes care of B3, so I could still do Sudden Ambush in A4 then. They're still going to build that town, but if I have a Dahan in there, I could do Words of Warning in that. Stop that cascade from happening. Especially because since A2 is blighting, a cascade in A4 would blight the island, which I shouldn't be terrified about, right, John? Is there anything we can do with Lead the Furious? We could potentially take out that town with Lead the Furious, as long as we have 2 Dahan in there. Which Sudden Ambush only gathers 1, but Gather the Warriors is going to... Ooh, then this could be fast. Actually, both of these can be fast. Although I would rather the Lead the Furious be slow. But we did get enough heirs! Yay! Okay, but what about River? I think it's gain a power card for her. Gain a power card for it. The alternative is I do double growth and I get to 3 energy per turn. 13 card plays with Serpent. John, does the UI scroll? Also, hi, Frenzy. But we are like, I feel like this was an exceptionally good start. I think we got the right powers for everything. I think every single power card I drew has had a use so far, which is not typical of a Guard the Isles Heart game, but I guess we haven't used Entwined Power yet, but I mean, that has an obvious use, so it's not an issue. I was really scared of this England 5 and Guard the Isles Heart game, but I think we're doing really well because all the towns and cities are just over here right now. Yeah, do I go for extra energy and then reclaim and gain a power card next turn? Because I would have 3 energy per turn, so I'd have 2 extra energy that reclaim turn. Kind of want to keep my, kind of want to like get a bit more infrastructure. Really tempted to put a Sacred Site in A2, but it's a really bad idea. But instead, what I could do is Sacred Site in A1, because we do need to deal with that, and you do need to be within range 1 of a Sacred Site, which you currently are. But I mean, at this point, I'm not sure. I guess Sacred Site in A3 would have better visibility because A3 is also a thing. So let's put Sacred Site in A3. Scandalous of me to put Sacred Sites in non-wetlands places. I am being a very bad river player right now. But yeah, I'm gonna have 6 energy next turn plus 1 more for 7. Plus 1 more with this gain 1 energy, so that's 8. River could take a major next turn. River could take a major off of Entwined Power. But I like all of these cards. Even Devouring Ants is a thing. It at least stops the Explorer. But this is also the stage 2 card. But yeah, I want a different card Like, I want to take a minor this turn, major next turn, so that I have potentially fodder for River. Thunder Speaker needs a little more energy help still. Alright, so defend 3. Sudden ambush to save that Dahan. Flash floods to take this guy out. So B1 is Death by Dahan. A2 is Blight. A5 is defended enough. And it takes out all of those. I guess the thing I really need to do is take out all of these towns and cities, if I can. Which I can't, but, I mean... Next turn, the high immigration will be in the wetlands, so this town is building because of everything in these mountains. But if I can take out everything in these mountains, then I won't have to worry about this high immigration. But I won't be able to do that this turn at all. I could do 2 damage. Well, that's not going to take out the town, but they're going to build a second city in there too, but that's annoying. But I could push things into A2 instead of being in A1, but yeah, 2 cities in there is rough. But I could try to set up for... but you're not going to have the energy for that remotely. Unless I just only play Manifestation next turn. And energy 0 cards. But I'm not sure yet whether what we'll need to do to deal with the tier 2. The build is only happening in A4, and we can deal with that with Lead the Furious. After I get a presence in there. So next turn might be a good opportunity to try to deal with A1. I just have to be really careful with getting enough Dahan and presence in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and Twine Power now. Thunder Speaker wants minor, I think. I was also thinking of River taking a minor. There's no way you can afford a major anytime soon. Alright, we got cards. 3 air cards, 0 water cards, 2 sun cards, 1 mountain card, 0 fire cards, 2 animal cards. Alright, I see how it is. Well, if we want 0 energy cards for Thunder Speaker, we could do Enticing Splendor. Though it's range 0 and a land without Blight, which we don't have that much Blight, but for instance, I can't gather into A1. Also, the fact that it's range 0 means it's going to be a bit hard to use for Dahan gathering, because I tend to want to gather Dahan in places where a presence isn't already there. I mean, we could gather in a place, gather more Dahan in a place where Thunder Speaker already is, but it does also gather an Explorer town, so that's a thought. Nature's Resilience. This could go on River. River will have 2 water almost all the time. Plus it's Defend 6, which is pretty good. Range 1 of Sacred Site, which River has a lot of all over the board. Doesn't really give good elements other than that, but it does give a plant, which River does kind of want to think a little more about, but Entwine Power is what, 2 water, 4 plant, so you would actually have 3 of the plants if you take Nature's Resilience. So I think Nature's Resilience for River might be Veil for Thunder Speaker. Dealing 1 damage to a different invader isn't the best, but push up to 3 Dahan is pretty good. Pretty good. And it gives an air and an animal and a moon, so that later on when we get the Dahan Ways card, we can combo that. So Thunder Speaker takes Veil and River takes Natures. Loot is showcasing a feature called Quick Play gave me England 5 and Guard the Isle's Heart. But we're doing pretty well. Okay, so do we need to do anything here? I don't think so. We can gather slow. We need to lead slow anyway. We don't need to move any more Dahan for kills. I also got a fear card, by the way. Each town destroys an explorer in its land. Okay, well that took out 3 explorers. Yes, that icon is because of England 5. I'll show you it in a second once this is all done. Exploring in the mountains plus the high immigration, or high escalation. So we actually have 5 towns and cities in A1, so we kind of have to deal with that like really soon. Perhaps right now. Okay, but yeah, so England 5, local autonomy. Towns, cities have +1 health. So that icon that they have is a heart with a plus, meaning they have +1 health. So this city normally has 3 health, but now it has 4 health. Yeah, so if they... Well, they're gonna build here next turn, and they're gonna escalate into that and we lose. So I have to deal with this. I can't wait for manifestation to solve the problem. But it is also kind of good that they're building there, because if my plan was to do manifestation in there, it's actually a pretty good time to have that come up, because we can just take care of their building at the same time as we take care of the thing. But we do absolutely need to do massive flooding in some capacity. The problem is I can't target this. Oh, but we are entwined right now. We're entwined right now. So I could River's Bounty in A1 if I have a Thunder Speaker presence in there. But first I need to get a Dahan in A4. So let's gather... Yeah, we're gathering 4, pushing 2, but we might as well gather these guys out. They're done there. Take as many presences as we can. Push as many as we can into there. And push as many of those as we can. Then we can lead the Furious Assault in there. I guess if we... I guess I could actually save that for A1. Now that I think about it. Okay, here's a thought. Here's a thought. Here's a different path. Different line. Here's a different line. Voice of Thunder in A4 to push for Dahan. Take all those presences. River's Bounty in A1, thanks to Entwined Power. Gather these 2 Dahan. Gather all the presences, because stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now, lead the Furious. Oh, but it's not destroying cities. Shoot. Well, it's super overkill then. But hey, we killed 3 towns. And now this is not a problem. Oh, here's my other thought. Massive flooding in A4 to push that into A1. I forgot about that. So now it's still taking out, well, it's taking out, how many? Wait, okay. Now it's hard to see what's going on. Yeah, there are... Oh, there's 4 towns in here! Scripted! Scripted! Okay, so take out that town, take out that town, take out that town, take out that town. I don't know why it gave me the choice. I guess in case I wanted to destroy the damaged town first. Okay. That was pretty freaking sick. That was a lot better than what I was first thinking of doing. Okay, so building in the wetlands, we still can't deal with A5. Ravaging in the sands, there's nothing in the sands. Building in the mountains, this guy exists. We can take him out. We especially want to take him out because otherwise, then the escalation will happen in land B. The damage from manifestations in that land is gross. So how much damage is it going to be right now? The answer is too much. It's going to be 6 presence versus 8 Dalhan. It's 48 damage. So I thought this was supposed to be hard. I thought this was supposed to be a hard game. Okay. Well, it's definitely reclaimed for both. It's minor for Thunder Speaker to start with. It's almost just called isolation. 0 energy gives animal, gives air, pushes Dalhan, pushes something else. Savage Mob Beast does have an argument because we do have a lot of animals. I think it's just called isolation. Another minor for Thunder Speaker, called a Migrate. We're getting all the best cards here. Like, I think the deck is stacked here. I think I cheated here. Call to Migrate pushes Dahan wherever I want them to be. Now it's major for River. River has things. No water. That's unfortunate. Jungle hungers. We do potentially have enough moons and plants. And it destroys all towns and a city, which is good in an England game when there's extra stuff to deal with. What was the card we took with River, though? I think it was like a card I was even thinking of using, like Nature's Resilience, but I mean, we're doing really well. We probably don't even need that. If I forget Nature's Resilience, I could even get this set up for this turn. Jungle hungers. Do you have a presence in jungle? Oh boy, do you? Do you ever? I think it's Jungle hungers. And we could just play those 3 cards. Yeah, I was thinking of it for the Entwined Power Kicker, which I guess I could hold on to it for that. I guess I could take out Devouring Ants instead. Maybe that's a better forget. I'm surprised that I got utility from that card. But I still can't get this kicker. But we can in the future, if there is a future. Alternatively, I don't worry about this wetlands this turn, and I wait until next turn when I have 4 card plays to do all of the Entwined Power shenanigans. Because 3 energy for Thunder Speaker is pretty good. But, like, do we just win the game? Like, do we just win? Probably not. How far are we from the next Fear card? Too far. Or, not Fear card, but Terror level. So we kind of have... We're currently at the position where we have to clear the board. We're a ways away from the point where we only need to take out all the towns and cities. And we're especially far away from only needing to take out all the cities. So this game is going to proceed for a bit longer. They're going to build in this wetlands. And this also runs a risk of escalating into the sands, the high immigration in the sands, but it's not because there's only one adjacent town. But yeah, this is a chance for losing the game. But no, we're fine. So do I want to save this then? and instead play my not plant cards. Because those 4 cards I have in my hand will give me the kicker for Jungle Hungers, and will give me the kicker for Entwined Power. And will give me the kicker for Nature's Resilience. Oh boy. And what will this do for innates? It will give me the tier 1 innate. I currently have the tier 2 innate for what it's worth. Right, I needed a Flash Floods B2 anyway, right? So I guess I have to go this route in any case. They're gonna build in the wetlands. I could push that away somewhere and then push something else somewhere. Could get as many things into A1 as possible. Wash away plus massive flooding into A1. Oh, but they're gonna build a city in A6. Can't deal with that city still. Right, but for Thunder Speaker, it's Manifestation. And anything else you can afford. You can play 2 more cards. If you play these, what does that do for us? Called Isolation pushes Dahan or pushes an Explorer or Town. Range 1 in a Dahan place. That'd be nice if it were A6 to stop that city build, but we don't have Dahan in there and we can't get it there fast. I do have 4 air, you're right. I could use this power to get a Dahan in there and then call to isolate that. The question is, do I want to waste the Furious Assault on that? I guess with Voice of Thunder, I have a push 4, right? So I could get any number of Dahan in A6 that I want, and then still push 4 out of that. If I stop this city build, then we're in really good shape, right? I think that's fine. There's all the Dahan, all the Dahan that's not in A1 is currently very south in places where they don't need to be. That's a bit annoying. We could still gather. I want to gather 2. I don't need to gather more than 2. I don't need my presence there. I just want to push these guys. I want to save this for the slow phase. Does it even matter? We're doing enough damage in A1 anyway, but I guess I don't really know where else to put this, I guess. I guess we could do River's Bounty in A2 or something, and then do Lead the Furious in A2. So to double check, there's 2 cities, 1 town. They're gonna build a town. They're gonna build a town in A6. We're gonna push that town in A1, and then there'll be 5 town cities. Plus there's the high immigration. So actually they're gonna build a town from the, it's not from high immigration, they're gonna escalate. So they're gonna build, so the build builds a town. The escalation builds a town because there are not more cities than towns. Or something. There are not more towns than cities, that word. So there's going to be 3 towns, 2 cities, plus this town in A6. So that will be 6. And if they explore coastal, then we don't get that escalation anyway. So let's do the math here, just, you know, to double check. 2 cities, 4 towns. Is that enough? Do we have enough damage there? That's 8 health from cities. 12 health from towns. Yes, that's like 20 health. We have 48. Alright, we save that for the slow phase then. Well, I guess we're also going to try to push the town from A5, aren't we? Oh well. Ah, here's danger. Here's danger. This does change our plans. But how much? Yeah, the problem is we don't have fast powers that are going to deal with A7. I guess I could reclaim Flash Floods. But I wanted to play these 4 cards next turn for River. It's actually kind of annoying because we can actually set this up so that there will be no towns or cities on the board, but we are not close enough to that fear condition, so we'll have only explorers and we'll lose because A7 will build. That's annoying. Well, I can't push both A6 and A5 into A1 because that would lose us the game. Yeah, so I can't. I wanted to do massive flooding and watch away. I can't do that anyway, but now I have to save one of these for A7 anyway. And we could just defend an A6 with Words of Warning next turn, and that would do enough damage to take out the town. 2 Dahan with that would survive. And we're overkilling in A1 anyway. So I might as well just kill A1. Well, no, nope. Let me kill A1 after I push something into it. So I think what I'm going to do is... Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do damage off of this. So let's just do the damage there. Push this guy in there. Manifest there. That is really satisfying. Really satisfying. So if I'm jungle hungry next turn, there's like no reason to even do anything in A2. Although I guess if I take out 2 of those towns, like, so if I push these 4 in there, I mean, I might as well just do this because I have no other reason to lead the Furious. But now we don't have... Every single land is not adjacent to 2 towns or cities. I guess except for A1, that's a lie, but... That is really hilarious. This England game is now over. Like, do we just win? Yeah, Jungle Hunger is, like, gonna barely do anything. How do I deal with A3 and A4 though? Still have sudden ambush. I guess basically just Thunder Speaker existing takes care of A3 and A4, or B3 and A4. So let's gather... Oh, I can't target that, actually. Okay. Can't target that either. That's annoying. I can only target this. Okay, well, I guess I can't River's Bounty into the places I want to gather in. Oh, I'll just steal 2 of your mighty Dahan. Spreading you out, but I think most of the threats are dealt with. So in order to win the game currently, we just have to take out everything that exists. That's all we have to do. Could we even... Well, no, I guess we have to wait for Jungle Hungers. So we don't need to gain a power card. I guess we could, but... This game is ridiculous. But we're also reclaiming 1. So I can get the 5 card plays. I could actually reclaim massive Flash Floods and play it. Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. You need energy. Let's give you a fire. Just gonna put you there. I don't know that we're gonna use this, but I would like to get that back. Guess I could take it just to have it, and then you have it. You don't always need it, but then you have it. Sudden ambush is needed. Defend 3 is needed. Let's see. So they're building in the sands. Oh, that's extra annoying. But we're gonna stop this. So they're gonna build in the sands in high immigration. But we're stopping both of those. Ravaging in the mountains, everything is gone except for A6, which is defended. They're then gonna build in the sands again, except there's nothing left in the sands, and then they're gonna explore. So the only other thing left on the board is the city, plus wherever they explore to. We just have to pick off the explorers for the next X turns until we get to the next fear card or something. I guess we're not really getting fear that well if we do that, though. But if we can somehow just take out all the explorers. If they explore coastal, it's kind of bad for that. But if they explore jungle or wetland, jungle would be really good. Actually, both jungle and wetland would be pretty good. Jungle Hungers takes care of wetland in A2, and B1 would be dealt with just by reclaiming Flash Floods. If they explore jungle, they only explore into A3, and we take care of that with Flash Floods. But if they explore coastal, then we have a lot to have to worry about, and it might be too much. So I don't know what we want to do here. Something slow that deals with multiple explorers, maybe. I guess we could manifest to take out an explorer. We do have presence in Dahan along this coast. That seems exceptionally silly. Would it be better to reclaim one of these? No. We just don't have good cards for taking out explorers. We have cards for pushing, but not for taking out. Well, we do have this innate. That damages something. Actually, I guess that takes care of. Yeah. Well, okay. Maybe we're fine. So yeah, I'll take manifestation to be completely silly here. Voracious Growth is the perfect card to combo with Entwined Power. Call to Bloodshed, though. That's for Thunderspeaker for sure. Encompassing Ward is the perfect river card for getting tier 3 innate. Not that we need it. Gift of Constancy, really good for targeting Thunder Speaker with, because we get to give Thunder Speaker energy, plus both of us reclaim 2! Although we're basically at the point, like, we're almost done with our growth. We're almost done with our growth. We'll just take Encompassing Ward. We can gift things. But these aren't good river cards. This is not a good Thunder Speaker card. Yeah, so we're not gonna gift. Remove a blight. Sure. Doesn't really matter. Give Thunder Speaker energy. And I don't know where I want Dahan, so I'm just gonna wait for that. Fear cards. We got 2 of them. Invaders do not build in lands with cities. It actually stops the escalation effect from happening. Not that that actually matters. Each player may push a Dahan from a land with invaders or gather a Dahan into a land with invaders. That's interesting. What are the higher tiers ones? In chosen lands, gather up to 2 Dahan, then 1 damage per Dahan present. The stage 3 or terror level 3s are really cool and all. We're not getting to that in this game, it doesn't seem. I don't want to push from A3. I don't need to gather into A6. I don't need to push or gather with A6. And I want to save, like, this Dahan's not dying from jungle hungers because we got the innate, or the threshold. I'm just gonna skip this. Wonderful fear cards that did basically nothing. No build. A single ravage. No build. And they're exploring in the coastal. Of course they are. This game continues. But jungle hungers, that's happening. Now we only have explorers, and they're all on the coast. And let's see. So the Ravage in the Sands. This is the only coastal sands, and has no Dahan. That's tragic. Because we could gather into that. That's probably a reason to gather. Sure, let's take some number of these. We'll just take 2. You don't even need to. Don't even need to be there. In fact, I don't even want 2 to be there. Let's just push you into that jungle. So this doesn't do anything because there's no towns or cities. This takes out one of the explorers. We can Veil and we can Flash Floods and take out 2 more. We can't really stop the builds. We don't want them to build in the mountains and then build in the coast. We need to take out B2. We can do that with... Oh, we have massive flooding still. Forgetting about this. Take that out. That's just done. Manifest there. That needs to be done. So we have 3 more. Man. For those of you watching on YouTube, we are experiencing technical difficulties as my OBS is just disconnected. Please stay tuned and listen to this exciting music while we sort out the internet problem. Actually, my internet is literally dead. Okay. It is literally dead. Or Twitch is literally dead. As you can see, it failed to connect to chat server, so it's definitely an internet problem. And it's my Wi-Fi is having issues connecting, so it's... Yeah, everything's kind of going haywire over here. My computer's giving me a lot of notifications that it can't connect to any wireless service. Is it... Yeah. Can I get to Twitch on my phone? That's the question. It's loading. That's good. Can I get to the Handelabra channel to tell people that my internet has just shat itself? Handelabra. I'm waiting for my computer to connect to the Wi-Fi, and there's nothing really happening. Where's the chat? There's the chat. Oh, now it has connected. It is also connected, apparently, on Restream. My internet went by. But it seems... But now my net seems to be back. Just waiting for OBS to reconnect. So I have to wait to respond to these messages until people can hear me. So, YouTube, we are now back with Twitch. Twitch, if you can hear me, say 54. Just waiting for someone to confirm that we are indeed back. OBS claims to have reconnected. Could also just be that it's doing an ad thing. All right, Ray sees me. Yay. All right. Let's get back to this. No, my internet just like completely died. I couldn't even like, my chat window wouldn't load, and I couldn't, like I disconnected from my Wi-Fi and reconnected, except it didn't. It didn't do it for a while. But everything is fixed, everything is correct. So where we left off, or at least where I left off, yeah, Lude's internet does this weekly. Actually, this one was a lot worse than previous ones. Like I know like last week's, it was basically like OBS flickered for a second and I was back immediately. Like I didn't even lose my internet on my end or anything. But this was definitely like my internet absolutely went out. But yeah, it's definitely like a recurring thing on here, so don't be surprised when it goes out. Anyway, where we were, we find our hero where we left him last. Yeah, so Frenzied mentioned the mountains, and I think I realized that before he mentioned it, but it's also possible that my stream disconnect happened before that. So let me just recap what I did. We had all of these explorers over here. We did Manifestation in one of them, we did Massive Flooding in the other, and we did Jungle Hungers in A2. Yeah, so I think I did Jungle Hungers in A2. I did Massive Flooding, B2, something else in A1. Manifestation. Yeah. So, yeah, the mountains have to go away because the high immigration happens before the Sands Ravage. The Sands Ravage, this Dahan takes out this Explorer, and that's it. So we just have to take out the Explorer in A3 and the Explorer in B1, and then the Dahan Ravage in B3 wins the game, as long as they don't build in B2 or A1. But yeah, we're good now. And we can do this. We have the means to do this. It doesn't even matter what I do, so let's just put as much presence as we can on board. Actually, no, on second thought. Points. It's all about the points. Oh boy, Rapid Wings. I was hoping to get that card. This is Dahan Teleportation, which helps with Thunder Speaker. Actually has Thunder Speaker elements on it. So Thunder Speaker would like that card, but we can gift Thunder Speaker that card if it actually came to that. Actually, Vigor of the Breaking Dawn's also really good. But Rappin' Wings helps a lot with Thunder Speaker, so we'll just take that. And we're not pushing anymore, are we? We're gonna forget that. If England would survive, which they're not, so not at all. So we're playing, or we're reclaiming Sudden Ambush, are we? Or something like that. So I don't need to gain power cards. I guess I could, just to see if we get more blight removal. I kind of took a major without thinking. I'm not sure where blight removal actually exists. Let's give you minors. Let's give you a minor and a major. None of these are blight removal. One of them adds blight, so that's tragic. We do have 2 fire at least, so we can just take that one. Let's give you a major. There's Tsunami. Adds blight. Do we have 4 earths? We have 1 earth. We can't get infinite vitality. So none of these are gonna help in that means, but at least Tsunami River would like, and we could exchange these. I could always view the deck. Yes, I could. Yeah, England is crushed. We're getting a tier 1 victory on England. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Tier 1 victory? What the hell? Alright, we're done with gnawing root biters, I think. It served its purpose. Alright, so anything that removes blight, which I think the only blight removal we have is on River. And then something that kills the Explorer. So Sudden Ambush. Or Veil the Night's Hunt. Actually, the exceptionally silly play would be to do Jungle Hungers on A3, but we can't because that's slow, so never mind. Alright, we have 1 card that removes blight, and it's Nature's Resilience with 2 waters. One of them is Flash Floods. Do an Entwined Power, because why not? And Rappin' Wings, because why not? Do we get any of these thresholds? You, of course, don't get that one. That one's not active. That one's active. Alright. We're removing a blight, and we're killing 2 explorers. That's all we can do. And then this is death by Dahan. Or we just do it right now. There are no invaders on the island! So just to show you where we were 12 fear away from terror level 3. And there were only 2 blight, which is the base blight. 74 points. Nice. That's a solo PB. 10 for victory, 45 for difficulty, 12 for the 6 remaining invader cards, 8 for the 16 living Dahan, and -1 for the 2 blight. Making it look easy. That was a really good start. Guard the Isle's Heart's extra cards were really good cards. I didn't need to worry about like them not having utility. They already had utility. And taking out that town in land 2 made, you know, this England 2 rule less effective. But yeah, we didn't, I think we basically, except, okay, so the escalation did happen, of course, it always happened. Indentured servants did happen. Did the full high immigration happen? Or was the last high immigration still a stage 1 card? It might have not even mattered. It might have just basically been... The +1 health obviously affected things. But we had a wealth of damage with... The mountain was a stage 2? Okay. That's cool though. I have officially beaten England 5. Woo! And actually, that would have been another game. That would have been an England 6 victory as well, because we weren't dependent on fear in that game. I don't think the fear cards even did that much for us. They didn't like stop anything. We had one where towns destroyed explorers. We had one where we could push Dahan into a land or out of a land with explorers or invaders. And we had another one where it said you can't build in lands with cities. None of those mattered. This would have been an England 6 victory. So that's cool. Another few weeks and Lude will have beaten everything. John will have to hurry and add branching claw stuff so Lude has more to do. It's kind of accurate. Although that was definitely like, I mean, I still admit it was definitely very lucky and fortunate that we got the power cards that we did. I mean, like, not just the initial power cards, but Thunderspeaker got all of the great Dawn cards at the right times. Yeah, it was just good draws everywhere, which luck is definitely a factor in this game. I'm not trying to minimize my impact. I definitely played well, but I definitely had a lot of luck with my draws. The game would have been less effective had I not gotten all the right cards. All right, so let us play something different. Kind of want to do Sentinels. I don't want to go to my dashboard. I want to go to Handelabra's dashboard. So let's close this. Let's start up Sentinels. Edit stream info. The game is Sentinels. I don't really need to change the title. Let's go to Trello to see the Steam information. I gotta go to this site. I gotta use this login with this password. And I gotta use this ID. And I need to hit update settings. It is updated. All right. It is not displaying the game. I was gonna check that second. Should display it soon. There it is. Since last week when I didn't notice that Aeon's End wasn't showing for 5 minutes, I had just to double check myself with this. Just give myself a title: Sentinels, Spirit Island, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End with Dolphin. I'll just never have to change the title. Nah, sometimes I want to put like information in the title. Like, one of the things I've been kind of conscious about, and I'm not sure if it even is a thing, but something I've just been thinking about is like, there could be viewers that really love Sentinels, but don't particularly like Spirit Island. But when they come into my stream, they might see me playing Spirit Island and be turned off, and so they'll leave the stream because they're not interested in Spirit Island. But if I change the title to say now I'm playing Sentinels, maybe they'll see it later, be like, oh, Lute's playing Sentinels, I can come back in. Or, although people who are actively watching would notice, but people who like Spirit Island but don't like Sentinels, if they're watching the Spirit Island thing and then we do Sentinels later, I don't know. But definitely when I change the game in the middle of the stream, I get fearful that I'm going to lose viewers, the people who don't like the second game, plus the people who don't know that I'm playing the second game after not having watched the first game. But I could be completely overthinking things. I like people. I want people here. I want people here. So there was something I was reading on the Discord recently. Let's see if I can pull this up relatively quickly. I was reading it like either yesterday or the day before. It was Apostate with Visionary and Dark Conductor, Argent Adept, Rogue Agent Knife, Omnitron-X, and Termi-Nation Unity. Hey, Micro P. But the statement was... the other day I was fighting Apostate, and before my first turn, he summoned Runes of Malediction, Orb of Delirium, and Corrupted Effigy. After one round, it was clear to me there was no possible way for my chosen party to win, so I had to restart. Which other people chimed in and pointed out various things, such as Argent Adept can outright destroy relics, and Visionary has the high capacity for being the highest target immune to damage and negating a lot of the card effects, and Omnitron-X can be resistant to infernal damage and resist a lot of those effects, and B-Bot stops the apocalypse and all that. So I thought maybe I'd try that game out, although I don't want to just grind for the start where we start with Runes of Malediction and Orb of Delirium. If the first game does it, that's excellent. If the first game doesn't do it, I don't want to keep resetting for that particular setup. We'll just see how it goes. Maybe John can make this a weekly one-shot. Wink, wink. Weekly one-shot title: Spiting Our Fans. Omnitron-X thought to himself how, I guess Omnitron doesn't necessarily think, but Omnitron was processing the information presented before him of how there is an impossible situation whereupon no one can deal enough damage, and yet the developers decided to make this a one-shot. How dastardly evil are the developers, Omnitron-X mused, unless maybe there is a way out of this. This weekly one-shot requires infernal relics, and shattered timelines, and Wrath of the Cosmos, and Mini Pack 1. I haven't played a one-shot in forever. Maybe I should start doing one-shots on stream. I have not done them in a long time. I used to make videos on them. What is this even? I don't even know the environment. It's Final Wasteland? I mean, there's your damage. There's your damage. These guys like to munch on the lowest HP targets. There you go. But let's see. Let's try this out. Give this a spin. It's not even an advanced game, but the advanced starts with Tome of the Unknowable. Yeah, we could do advanced. The other side of it is whenever a demon card is played, the top card of the villain deck is played. No, whenever a demon card is destroyed, the top card of the villain deck is played. The challenge for both sides: whenever a demon card enters play, the top card of the villain deck is played. Oh boy. Well, we'll do advanced. I don't typically get to flip Apostate, but there are certainly reasons for doing so. The main one being that you're dealing with a bunch of relics that you can't destroy because of damage reduction, and you can destroy them instead by destroying Apostate, basically. You could also destroy Apostate with an effect that simply says destroy the target with 2 or fewer HP. Alright, thanks, Raze. Thanks for stopping by. I don't think we have that effect in this game, do we? Does Knife have a card? I think Knife has a card. Knife has a card. If Knife reduces a target to 1 HP, take it out instead. So that would bypass the flip condition. We'll fight. We'll fight. Also, Final Wasteland is one of my favorite environment tracks. The world is as I say it is. Believe in my truths. Believe in me. I have foreseen the consequences of this conflict. Visionary has decoy projection, precognition, prophetic vision, and immunity! Argent Adept has Drake's Pipes, Instrumental Conjuration, Musaragni's Harp, Infernal Sonata. Rogue Agent Knife has Incidental Contact, 2 Prototype Servo Gauntlets, and Wrecking Uppercut. Omnitron-X has Disruptive Flechettes, Electro Deployment Unit, Innervation Ray, and Temporal Shielding. Kind of getting all the cards we want. And Termi-Nation Unity has Construction Pylon, 2 Power Shockwaves, and Raptor Bot. And yeah, the card I was thinking of, because I remembered it after the fact, was Flawless Execution. Whenever damage dealt by knife reduces a target to 1 HP, destroy that target. So we can use that to destroy Flipside Apostate. We can also use that to destroy relics that have damage reduction, and that would be really handy. So Condemnation, Tome of the Unknowable, and Fiendish Pugilist. fiendulential pugilism. Oh man. I don't know why I remember that Uncle Slam's old title was Presidential Pugilism, but that's one of my Handelabra trivias that I just remember from one random Handelabra live. So I think this is Telekinetic Cocoon, although you're not the highest, but you are the lowest. But this is highest. This is highest. This is highest. Eventually, Visionary will be highest. And Visionary can't exactly draw a card without Tome of the Unknowable playing a card. Are these other cards exciting? I mean, Precognition is really good. But you're not using Enlighten. You're not using Enlighten. Here, let's play 2 cards with your power. No. But is it worth stacking the deck? I mean, I guess if Visionary is not the highest and is not currently the highest, then we're not really going to get much mileage out of Telekinetic just yet. Because this is going to go off, that's going to hit the highest. This is going to go off and hit the highest. This is going to go off and hit the highest, and there are 4 targets in front of Visionary, so I think it's Precognition that. We have an Apocalypse, we have a Periat, and we have another Fiendish Pugilist. Do we have Ongoing Destruction? We kind of do, in a sense. We also absolutely do. Okay. So Apocalypse will be the card that just gets rid of itself really quickly. Well, it doesn't get rid of itself, but we get rid of it. Periapt is harder to get rid of. Fiendish Pugilist, we have to get rid of. Also provides a damage reduction. I think Apocalypse is the play. But this is one of those situations where, had we let those 3 cards go off, it actually would have been fine. Okay. So we're not able to trigger an instrument. We're not able to trigger a song. We don't even have a song. I'll just put the harp. Actually, you know, let's conjure. Let's conjure the lyra. Wanted to play the harp. Oh, but I can't draw a card off that. Right. Right. All right, let's do the harp. Save the conjuration for when I can actually draw a card. So who do we want to control here? Unity. Absolutely Unity. Oh, right. Top card of any 2 decks. Okay. I thought it was top 2 cards of 1 deck. Once again, I need to read the cards. I was just forgetting what this power was. I mean, I've played Sentinels enough to basically remember everything. It's just, it's been a while, and so I assumed this was a card that said reveal the top 2 cards of a deck. Put 1 in the play and 1 in the trash. That is not what this card is. Okay, so if Unity doesn't give me a card I care about, who do I want to control? Let's try Knife. Flash Forge and Flawless Execution. Well, there's Flawless Execution. Flash Forge, though, we could discard Raptor Bot, and then we can put it into play with the innate power. I can't hazard a reason why I wouldn't want to do that. Because not only do we discard Raptor Bot and get it into play, but we can get other bots. Power Shockwave is really fun, but I want to get bots. I want bots. I don't know how effective Stealth Bot will be in this game. I guess it will be effective, right? Because there are things in here that deal damage to all. Like Horde Skunk Ape deals each target other than itself. Stealth Bot makes that do nothing to the heroes and everything to the villains. So stealth bot, swift bot, and we already have a construction pylon, but I'll take a second one. Still have to take out Tome. We can prototype Tome. There we go. There goes the advanced rule. The weird thing about that advanced rule, though, is that it puts Tome into the game immediately, but once it's in the trash, like, Condemnation is now easier to take out, because this doesn't put it back into play. Can we electro deploy? We cannot. We will take too much damage. We can't innervate either. So let's put out temporal shielding. And let's get more golems into play. Why not? Oh, we could just draw a card off that. We can now draw cards because we got rid of the Tome. I don't want that on top of my deck, though. But I drew a Raptor bot anyway! Alright, I'll put out a construction pylon, but I want to get Raptor bot out while there's no golem in play. Yeah, I think we take out the Pugilist because that will make us hit Apostate harder. We'll do more damage to Apostate over the course of the game if we take out the Pugilist first. Oh no! It's Apocalypse! The answer to this question is it doesn't matter because the Pugilist hits the other one. Well, I guess it slightly mattered because that was more damage. But alright, we are now in the setting where Visionary is the highest HP, so now Visionary is immune to damage, and Visionary is just going to exist. However, we could still put Visionary cards into play. Yes. This says cards cannot be played, but it doesn't say cards cannot be put into play. One of the biggest distinctions in Sentinels. Now I can play this. Get my Lyra. There's Sadistic Dissonant. There's the card that destroys relics. Nothing to play with these, so we're going to Dark Dynamics. And I think now it's going to be Unity and Visionary. Supply Crate and Foresight. Well, Foresight doesn't do anything for Visionary, it just gives her a power that she can't use. So we'll Supply Crate. More cards, more construction pylons. There's a Rhythm. All right. If she takes damage this way, you may draw a card, play a card, and use a power now. Well, that's tempting. Ideally, I'd take out the Pugilist with Prototype. I can't Wrecking Uppercut the Pugilist. This would do a damage or two to it. What's for the greater good? This draws a card. I could play a card. Reduce damage dealt by knife by the target with the highest. So I could incidental contact to guarantee it. I could also potentially get a card off of this. I think we might as well just do incidental contact. I would like to save that for when actually it's only hitting the Pugilist and it's hitting us for more. So actually I don't like that. I changed my mind. I don't like that anymore. We do have an alternative means of taking out Apocalypse. I don't need to be cheeky about this. Let's go ahead and do the damage reduction. Let's go get a random card potentially. I do want to get a card that might hit Pugilist, so maybe not Unity, because Unity will potentially get me a Golem or something else. Visionary could have a one-shot that does it. Knife could have a one-shot that does it. Omnitron-X is less likely to have a one-shot that does it. Put it into play. Let's try Visionary. We've had one telekinetic cocoon, yes, but what about second telekinetic cocoon? Unfortunately, we now don't have enough damage to take out Fiendish Pugilist. I mean, if we had Flawless Execution, we would have gotten it, just saying. We'll still do it. I'll still hit you. Oh, there's Flawless Execution. Thanks, game. Alright, well, the only way to guarantee that the Apocalypse doesn't go off, we don't have a B-bot either, is to Disruptive Flechettes it. It's the only ongoing card that matters, right? There's only the Apocalypse. So it's not really a waste of a card. That's the only card to destroy other than maybe an ongoing that we don't want or something. Take out the Pugilist first so that we can hit Apostate for more. And let's just focus on Visionary. Twist the Ether. That's interesting. Oh boy, I'm tempted to put it on Apostate, but the problem is Apostate's hitting Visionary and Visionary's immune to damage already. I like doing it on villain targets though, because we can reduce their damage by 1. And especially with, you know, Temporal Shielding, we could, if it ever targets Omnitron-X, we could turn it into Psychic, Infernal, Radiant, or Sonic, and it's inert. But how often is Apostate going to hit something that's not Visionary? Fallen Angel, but that's Infernal. So that's fine. That's it. So I don't really need that minus. There's only one card that does it. Actually, there's only 3 cards that does it. So I don't need to do the -1 there. I could do a +1 somewhere else. Knife's probably a good target because we could make Knife do melee damage in various situations for an extra +1, like incidental contact. Turning this damage into melee will give a +1. Obviously, if she had the Focusing Conduit Blade, to be a little different. But she doesn't. So we can get extra damage off of that on the villains and less damage on the heroes. Getting this on Omnitron-X will also be pretty good when we have Defensive Blast. Which we don't have right now. Nor do we have another plating in hand to discard for that. Putting on Raptorbot's kind of interesting, but that's just a single instance of +1 per turn, so it's not really that effective, and Argent Adept's not dealing damage directly, so I think the answer that makes sense is Knife. But now we are protected, and now we can start, you know, doing things. Alright. We have a construction pylon in play right now. And I want to get Stealthbot and Swiftbot out, I guess. Do I want to brainstorm now or later? I'm gonna save that just in case I get a Champion Bot? Champion Bot. Because then I can do extra damage off that. Plus, I already have cards I want to play anyway, so it's fine. We got Cryobot and Supply Crate. So Rat Beast is going after Visionary, so Rat Beast is not doing anything. This is now 4 damage. I'm going to throw this on Condemnations because it's less of a damage decrease. Deal a non-environment target with the lowest. That's Raptorbot. No! Bot! Oh look, it's the card that I was talking about. Well, I could save Raptorbot. I probably want to keep Stealthbot, but I mean Stealthbot's going out anyway, right? So I might as well save Raptorbot with this. I can't save Stealthbot. What I'm thinking is, do I want to bring Stealthbot back with Reconfigure? If I do that, I'd be sacrificing probably Raptorbot. So I'll save Raptorbot so that I can destroy Raptorbot later. This is Sentinels logic right here. But there's Telekinetic Cocoon. It's actually good to have 2 cocoons, because if we get an imp out, then the imp can destroy the cocoon. Alright. Do we want to destroy an instrument so that we take out Condemnation? I don't think we need to. We don't have a means of getting it back easily just yet. I think I'm just going to use this innate anyway, because it's fun. I'll just put instruments out until I figure out what I want to do with them. Unity and Visionary. Oh boy, suggestion. Apocalypse would be a dead play. Fiendish Pugilist would also be a dead play. Except we'd have to take it out with damage, but we definitely have a lot of damage going on. If I put the tome in the if I put the tome on the bottom of the deck, is it better or worse? Do you search the deck or do you search the trash? I think you do both. I should remember this, but yeah, you search the deck with Profane Summons, but you also search the trash with Relic Spirit. But so it doesn't really matter where I put the tome, I guess. Wasn't there a card that also pulls demons from the trash? Ah, runes. Okay. All right. Yeah, suggestion is definitely the play. Let's take the demon out. Let's take Apocalypse. Let's put Apocalypse on top. We can destroy it anew. Can we, though? I guess we can destroy an environment card with Prototype. Amphibious Chupacabra. We do have to actually think about him because he's hitting us. Let's see. So Raptorbot is at 2. Swiftbot is at 2. I could Inspired Repair to get Stealthbot up to 5. If I'm destroying Raptorbot, then Raptorbot will be gone anyway. If I can get Condemnation down to 5, then Amphibious Chupacabra goes after Condemnation instead. Can I do enough damage to that? Let's do Incidental Contact, because I can actually control the damage now. This is now -1, so I don't even need Stealthbot for this. I don't think the order matters, but we want it melee and increase by 1 to Apostate, and melee increase by 1 again. We want it melee increase by 1 to Condemnation. We want this to not be melee, and we want it reduced. Although for Visionary, it doesn't matter. I could just take out the Amphibious Chupacabra. This is 6 damage. I could also just leave Chupacabra barely alive so that Prototype Servo Gauntlet will take it out. And that destroys the Apocalypse. So let's do extra damage here. Let's do not melee here, but still increase it. It's now at 1. This guy's not doing anything at all. I could also leave him at almost dead. Just so that... Of course, now what's going to happen is that Horde Skuncave's going to come out and ruin everything, but I think this is fine. But Chupacabra is now going after Condemnation once we take out Raptorbot. Alright, so Electro Deployment. We can now safely keep it in play. Let's get Unity. That is still not a thing. I want you in the trash. Okay. We have 2 card plays here. Yeah, so we have to Inspired Repair in order to heal Swiftbot. Hasty Augmentation. Oh boy. That will super power up Omnitron-X once we get the powers that we want. But here, I already know what I'm going to use a power for, so I don't really need any of these just yet. I'll do a supply crate to draw more. I'm trying to hold on to the Brainstorms for when I have Champion Bot, but that's kind of not happening, is it? Oh, I got another card play. Right. Right. Can I just do it? I'll just do it. Platform Bot and Platform Bot, which means if I had not done that, then we would have revealed one of those Platform Bots with one of the powers, and we would have played it instead, so it was the wrong decision. Raptor Bot, no! Raptor Bot is evolving! Raptor Bot is evolved into Stealth Bot! Oh boy, Ancient Library. Oh boy. Oh. You can actually take a Condemnation. That's cool. Or we dig for Unforgiving Wasteland, and we have the amphibious Chupacabra take out the Apocalypse, or take out Condemnation. Not the Apocalypse, but Condemnation. We can take out Rat Beast with Prototype to take out the Apocalypse. But if we get the Unforgiving Wasteland, I think I want to do this. You don't really need the cards, but the faster we get to Unforgiving Wasteland, the better. Amphibious Chupacabra number 2. That one's less good. Second lowest, eh? That's a golem. Not getting the cards. Oh, Arcane Cadence combos with Argent Adept. Do we have an inventive preparation? We do not. Let's take Conjuration. Put a Conjuration on top. Let's put Flare on the bottom, Onslaught in the trash. You can also get that with Knife, too, which is interesting. But I want to draw both. I want to play the Preparation. I don't necessarily need to play the Conjuration this turn. So I'm still going to do Unity and Visionary. Twist the Ether number 2. Oh boy, Twist the Ether on a Horde Skunk Ape. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we don't have that option, so unfortunately that's not happening. But that would have been a fun thing, wouldn't it? I don't really want to put both on Knife. I'll put one on Omnitron in the event that we can use his thing someday. I'm still wanting to get the Unforgiving Wasteland. I'm greeting it. Nope. So how much do I care about all of these cryptids right now? I don't care about Rat Beast, but I want to take out one of the Chupacabras. And I want to try to take out the Snowman too. I actually don't want to hit you because I want you to be removed from the game. But I do want to hit you. You're not friendly right now. And I want to take you out. You're fine. And you're not doing anything. Bye, Apocalypse. Right. Let's play the Innervation Ray. Let's draw 2 cards. We get Horrid Skunk Ape. Okay. Let's give heals to the lowest HP peeps. We want to keep Visionary highest, but these guys do want to heal a little bit. I could slip through time and use Rocket Punch. So I'll do that. Let's get a bot. No! Well, I guess this does do something. Might as well play it because we can get a bot at the start of your turn. That's fine. We got an Elemental Exochassis, so now we just need to get the other card and we'll have the combo. Destroy it. Draw 2. You've almost already cycled through Unity's deck. Unforgiving Wasteland! We did it! Alright, let's play a card. What do you want to play? Turret Bot. Because we'll actually be able to use Turret Bot immediately for once. Which is fun and exciting. Alright, Volatile Parts. And one other play. I want to eventually get Champion Bot someday. We're also not trying to be bot this entire game. What? Okay, well. There we go. Go ahead, give you a ping, keep you in check. Ooh, the Horrid Skunk Ape's gonna take out the Rat Beast and the Amphibious Chupacabra. Boy, how many targets can we remove from the game? I'm sure that's an exciting episode of Mark and Zach do stupid stuff. All right, Champion Bot and Raptor Bot. I think technically 2 Raptor Bots would do more damage, but I want that Champion Bot. I've been digging for it. I've wanted it. It's mine now, and you can't stop me. I think we win next round. No, you can stay out. Hit the 2 targets other than itself with the highest HP, so basically Apostate? Sure. And then Rat Beast, that does nothing. Rat Beast, that does nothing. Condemnation is removed from the game. Hit points. Everything other than itself for 1. To which everything that hits a hero will redirect. That's why we brought Stealth Bot. Stealth Bot is so good for ping damage. So good. Amphibious Chupacabra is removed from the game. Rat Beast is removed from the game. So we've already removed 3 cards? Oh boy, Profane Summons. Well, the game's not ending. And there's Corrupted Effigy. Not the worst ones to find. I mean, I guess technically Orb is terrible, but Orb plus runes is terrible. But this is why we brought this team. Hello, Ichigo Gaming. Oh shit, some Sentinels. Look at my visionary with 2 telekinetic cocoons. How did that happen? Probably don't need to draw any more cards, but just let the environment play itself and remove itself from the game. Ooh, rest the mind. Oh boy, we could rest the Horde Skunk Ape and have it take itself out. Oh boy. Alright, cards. I like cards. Cards are good. New Jersey Devil, on the other hand. Okay, so what do we want to do with the Orb and the runes and the Effigy? You got into the game recently, the tabletop version, because you don't have the money for Steam version, but still, that's fine. Both are good. Sentinels is a really good game. One of the best games I've played. I'm thinking about what I want to sadistic dissonant. I'm definitely sadistic dissonanting. There's no question about that. I'm definitely blowing up an instrument. I have, you know, fodder. I have Drake's pipes. But the question is, I can't use more than one of these powers. I guess I could use a second one on second thought with hasty augmentation. The tabletop is a money sink. I mean, everything's a money sink. I think actually the Steam version is cheaper than the tabletop version in the end. Unless you're like getting it secondhand or something. But getting all the expansions for Sentinels adds up regardless. I mean, I'm doing the harp, right? Because, well, actually, I don't have to do the harp. I can do the lyra. Destroy an instrument. I don't need cards, right? So I might as well have someone else play a card. It could be Unity. Unity playing a golem. This keeps up the theme of have Unity play all the golems. If I take out the orb, I think Unity's Raptor bots would basically do enough damage to take out runes despite the -2. And then would take out the corrupted effigy. So I think it's take out the orb. You could also have Knife do something to participate. We just can't take out Apostate without him flipping. I mean, not that we are worried about that, but... Destroy the pipes. And take out the orb. I don't think we'll be... I guess we do have devils. Oh, actually they're targeting things, aren't they? Well, I guess they're gonna go after... Yeah, they're going after Raptor bots. They're going after a Raptor bot. And then something with 5 HP. But if I put out a Raptor bot now, they're gonna both be Raptor bots. So what that means is I need to try to get it so that 2 of these things are at 2. And this does 4. So actually if I do runes down to 2 and corrupted effigy down to 2, we can remove both of those from the game and just spite Apostate that way. I think we can do that. I'm still gonna draw 2 cards. Card draw is really powerful, especially when you're drawing it outside of your draw phase, because you get to profit cards. I've profited so many cards. This would be a really good situation for Overdo It. Especially because we can make that -1. Yeah, it's definitely Overdo It. I mean, I guess we could do like a one-shot to try to do more damage to things, but I think I think with our Twist the Ethers, we can get this set up. Yeah, Twist the Ether and the Prototype Servo Gauntlet made that do the stated damage. You need to take the damage for that to work. We're gonna play that. We're gonna draw. Okay. So reset. Slip through time again. Sure. Let's get a Unity bot, or I guess, yeah, that works kind of. And let's do something else. I'm gonna do the Gaussian Coil Blaster. Not that I need to do it now, but I'll just do it now. This isn't going to do enough damage. This is going to do 1 damage. That's annoying. This is going to do 2 damage. So yeah, that will do enough to take the runes down to 2. And I don't even need to, like, the Corrupted Effigy, like, if the Runes of Malediction is removed from the game, the Corrupted Effigy is so sad because it doesn't exist anymore. Oh boy, I don't need to worry about taking this guy down to 2 if the Runes is just going away. Gauntlet's doing nothing, really, but... I'll try to get this one down to 2 so that there's something else to hit. I have Tabletop Simulator. I have played it 1 time. I didn't really like the interface the 1 time I played it. All of these guys are actually fine, except the Jersey Devil I just have to watch out for. I could try to get the Horrid Skunk Ape to take something out. This is 1 damage. I can make it 2, so it's not really that effective for taking something out. Are there 2 of them? There are 2 of them. Yeah, if I do 2 damage to the Horrid Skunk Ape... actually, that's... Never mind. That's not the one. That's fine. I'll just do it anyway. Okay, let's draw 2 cards. I can actually see what those 2 cards were if I wanted, but I'm drawing them anyway, so I don't care. Non-environment target with the 2nd lowest. And that's at the start of the turn 2. Which is still a Raptorbot, so I gotta worry about that. Disconnected. For those of you watching on YouTube, we just disconnected yet again. Is this an internet outage or is this Twitch twitching? I think it's Twitch twitching. My internet seems fine. Actually, it seems like it is. Yep, it's definitely an internet outage. Never mind, I was wrong. Okay, let's try this again. But is an actual outage? Looks like it. I can't use my phone. Well, for those of you watching on YouTube, you got another exciting installment of offline footage. It's been exceptionally bad tonight. It's kind of weird because I've been teaching online. This is a story exclusively to YouTube, by the way. So you're getting to hear this story and only you. But I've been back to online teaching this week. This is the first week of online class for my 2 schools that I work for. And I haven't had an internet outage during my morning classes, so haven't had that issue. But For whatever reason, whenever I do an evening stream, it always hiccups. Always hiccups. Alright, internet is back. I gotta actually refresh my chat overlay because it is not working. Happens sometimes. There it is. But yeah, my morning classes, I've not had an internet outage, or at least as far as I know, I haven't had an internet outage. Because we're teaching online, of course, because of the COVID-19 situation, so that's why everything's online again. I do miss in-person classes. I want to be able to have in-person classes again, but I would like for the coronavirus to actually be solved instead of ignored, like the current U.S. administration wants to do. But what can you do? Give a few more seconds. It's also possible that everyone just left. Oh, Lude seems to have quit the game. No, I have to be live, right? I'm gonna check. I can just check myself. How about that? Oh, nope. Hichigo is said I'm back. Yay! That was internet outage number 2. Hey, Zach, how are you doing? John sees me on Lagovision. So I was just talking about Zach and Mark do stupid things. The current stupid thing that I'm doing is kind of removing a bunch of relics from the game. And currently, Corrupted Effigy is currently getting set up for it to search for runes of malediction and then cry because it can't find it. For that to work, we need to do 2 damage to runes. I want to play a card. Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want to play a card. So, I just want the Corrupted Effigy to cry. I could just get it set up to be taken out and removed from the game by the New Jersey Devil, but I also really just want to not do that. But let's see, I could do well, first Construction Pylon. I have to play one of those. I want to do 2 damage to the gauntlet or 3 damage to the other gauntlet, and I have a bajillion raptor bots that are doing 9 damage, which is actually too much damage. I don't want to take out Apostate either because that's going to screw up everything, but that's almost gonna... Oh, actually, oh. Does it say would be destroyed? Whenever target would be destroyed, whenever Apostate would be destroyed. Oh. Well, I wanted runes. I wanted the Effigy to cry, but instead I'm just gonna make Apostate lose to the wilderness. So I actually can't play a golem because we're perfectly set up for this. There are 7 golems. It does 8 damage plus 1 because of champion bot. So Apostate takes 9 damage 3 times, which is 27. And then, well, that's not going to do it, but something else is going to do it, like just the New Jersey Devil or even just the Horrid Skunk Ape. So dude plays it more like a solo game all the time. Always and forever. I could search my deck for stuff. Let's see what's in my deck. Oh. Let's put out volatile parts. I don't want to put more golems. because that screws up the math. I guess we could like engineer another sequence of actions that would do enough damage. But actually, I only have Raptor bots. No other damage dealers. I guess I could put out Platform bot or something and math it differently. But I'm fine with this. Yeah, I thought Andromeda Echo had played this game before. I'm pretty sure that Andromeda Echo is like a super long Handelabra Live veteran. It's been ages since you've seen me play Sentinels instead of One Deck Dungeon or Spirit Island or Aeon's End. I always do Sentinels on the first Thursday of the month for the monthly Oblivion match. But I haven't been doing it too often outside of that. I was trying to do a routine where I did it every other week, but now I'm kind of in a mood where I'm just playing what I want. Nah, I don't want to destroy Khan's bunker. I need to reduce one of those. Oh no! Playing co-op like a solo game is Lude's brand. Always and forever. Alright, Apostate. Apostate was removed from the game! Oh man, that was funny. I really wanted Corrupted Effigy to cry, but instead I skipped Apostate's backside entirely. So, you know that whole thing that was about, like, you can't, like, he had the impossible start where he put out all the bad relics and you couldn't do any damage to them? Yeah, that's, not true. There were ways to succeed. We didn't really have that happening this game, but... OTK? I don't know what OTK stands for. There are a lot of cheeses in the game. A lot of... Well, they're not really cheeses per se, but a lot of really sick combos. I mean, like, there are things that do cheese a lot. There's one really sick cheese. One turn kill. Oh. I'm not familiar with what you... So what do you mean by one turn kill? Are you talking about, like, a turn where I reduce the villain from max HP to 0 in just one turn? Or are you saying, like, on the first hero turn, I win the game by having all the right cards and combos? That's a lot harder. There are certainly situations where that could occur, but generally you need a couple of rounds to get it set up. Anyway, yeah, so when in doubt, just play Apostate in Final Wasteland and have the environment remove him from the game. Makes Apostate a lot easier. You don't have to worry about the relics at all. Just have him be lost to the wilderness. Isn't he also supposed to be gone from this screen because he was removed? He's lost in the wilderness? I don't know. Well, in any case, that will wrap it up for Dolphin's Dive this week. We have been at it for 2.5 hours, despite the internet hiccups. It was actually, I guess, including that, it'd be like 2 hours, 15 minutes. Just play Final Wasteland in general and let it win the game. I mean, if you're not actively keeping in mind what the environment does, it does get a lot harder. The environment does a lot of damage, and often to targets with lowest HP. So if you are the target with the lowest HP, you just die. So it's not really cheese, you just have to set it up. But I think that's one of the biggest things I love about Sentinels, is that the environment is doing its own thing, and it doesn't really discriminate between heroes and villains that often. It just tends to hit non-environment targets with second highest or second lowest HP or whatever. But you will know what it's doing, and you can plan around that, and you can try to milk it so that it will target villain targets for you instead of hero targets. If you just try to tackle the environment as a second villain, sometimes you'll just get completely overwhelmed and swamped because there's too many targets to hit, too many things to have to do. But if you have the environment team up with you by utilizing its mechanics in your favor, you can take out the villain a little more handily. And I think that's part of what makes Sentinels great, is turning it from a this is a bad thing game to this is a bad thing, but this thing can help me if I treat it correctly. Unless you're playing Rook City. Rook City sucks. All right, anyway, yes. It was a wonderful and fantastic Dolphins dive, despite the internet hiccups. I will need to remember to send a video to Krista so that she can put it on YouTube, and you can watch it without any hiccups there. Rook City killed G before you could kill Evil Legacy. Rook City's good at that. Rook City is actually really terrible of an environment, and I mean, it's thematically terrible. It's supposed to be terrible, and I understand that. I'm not particularly fond of Rook City. The one nice thing about Rook City, though, that I will admit, is that Tony Taurus gives you villain milling, I guess, villain control, when you don't usually get that from an environment. And I forget what the other one is, but also searches for the environment deck. Which, in a terrible environment deck, well, it's not really that powerful, but Tony Taurus is a really good card in Rook City. Probably one of the best environment cards, in all honesty. Anything that lets you control the villain deck is really good. But yes, it was a fun Dolphins dive. We do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. We try to stream some combination of Sentinels of the Multiverse, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island. Next week will be the Sentinels Oblivion match, the monthly Oblivion match, where I try to beat Oblivion. Still not sure that I want to do Advanced Oblivion, but I do like to just hit the random button and go, so that's fun. We'll see how that goes. This past month's match was fine. The match from 2 months ago was utter hell, so maybe we'll get another utter hell match next time. But you can check that out next week. The other streams we have going on this channel every Tuesday is Handelabra Live with John and sometimes Jeremy, who like to demo content before it is publicly available. They recently, and by they I mean John, recently demoed Heart of the Wildfire on Spirit Island, and they will eventually show Serpent Slumbering, something, I forget the actual name, but the Slumbering Serpent or whatever. That Serpent is an excellent spirit that will soon be demoed and is very powerful once fully set up. Starts out as a very slumbering spirit, but once it wakes up, it is a beast. And every Saturday is Spirit Island Saturdays with me and usually John and usually a third guest, and actually it's going to start being usually me. I think I'm good for this week, and if my schedule remains as it is right now in terms of the workload, it should be fine, but really it's test weeks that things start hitting the fan in terms of my workload. So this first week is introductions and the first topics of each math class, so it's not usually a bad week. It's when we start getting to the first test that I start falling behind on everything and needing that extra time. But I should be there for this Saturday, for Spirit Island Saturdays. And Sunday is Tales from the Archive with another letdown who likes to do some storytelling elements in his games, or some thematic challenges, or some really weird conditions such as only the environment can hit villain targets or something. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. Spirit Island is available on Steam and will be available on Android and iOS devices later this year. You can get more information on those games at Handelabra.com. But until next week, it was fun. It's been fun. Will be fun. Used to be fun and is still fun. And have a good night.